Hi guys, how's it going? Let's see what we got going on here. All right, so happy Tarot Tuesday. We have a new moon in Leo, I believe. So some potent energies coming in, and I think there's energies basically coming in from the lower spectrum, the higher spectrum, and everywhere in between. There's a lot of solar flares coming in. So you might be feeling very exhausted in your physical body. And there's so much oscillating between kind of your mental space and your emotional space. So right now you might be tempted to close off the heart and then go into your mind, or you might oscillate and then close off your mind and then go into your heart. And we're really working on balancing both, because if you escape into your mind, you can get really trapped in this energy of not being able to move forward in the ways you really want. And if you get trapped in the energy of your emotions, you might get overwhelmed by your emotions and not really see clearly some next steps that are open and available to you. So the universal energy right now as a collective is helping us connect into both. So balancing the mind and the heart. And this has been happening for quite some time, but these are radical shifts that are happening right now. And so for me, over the past week, I've been really experiencing some heavy emotional but mental balancing. And there's been a lot of strategy over the past year, strategizing how to move forward, strategizing how to protect ourselves, but also to claim our dreams, knowing how we limit ourselves, and in some areas not being willing to take the risk to move forward into those energies, or to be vulnerable, to speak our truth, to speak our feelings, being more comfortable kind of just sitting back and allowing the universe to maybe do it for us, or asking the universe to do it for us, because we don't want to take any more risks, because we've been hurt or traumatized to the point where we're kind of in the freeze mode of the fight or flight, or freeze or fawn mode. And so right now, I feel like the ice is melting and we're just getting ready to break through. But this breakthrough comes with some sorrow, some grief, depending on how you're able to look at situations, relationships, people, your life, your successes, your perceived faults or failures or mistakes. It's all coming down. In terms of the tower moments, it's kind of like an inner tower moment here, an inner hanged man. So we're in death, the tower, and the hanged man, like simultaneously. And so the potency of that can have you feeling like you're, at a fair and you're on like the zipper or like whatever the gravitron or something like that. You might feel so disoriented that you could physically fall over, in terms of how you're integrating the energies right now. So it is really important to ground. It is important to get that energy out. Like for me last night, I punched my bed a little bit. No one's getting hurt. I'm not getting hurt. It's soft, but I needed an outlet for this energy, because once in a while I get this surge of this powerful energy that I can't really do anything with. Perhaps because I haven't consciously decided to get creative and use that energy wisely. However, so it's this energy that is kind of latent and there. And so I was so frustrated with integrating some really, really deep truths and some accepting some things about myself and others, whilst accepting alternate kind of dimension energies and timelines, everything coming together, everything merging. And I just felt very overwhelmed. And so I had to really get that energy out, but also take a step back and just be quiet and not react in terms of 3D, reacting to a person that pissed me off, or reacting to myself, or a judgment call I made, or a message I sent, or whatever. But the energies are really calling for you to be accountable, and also really asking you to look at it from the next level perspective, to look at it as if you have all the time in the world, to look at it as you are exactly where you are meant to be on your journey, and you have accomplished amazing things, no matter what it looks like right now, that you are spiritually successful, even if you aren't materially being rewarded for those successes at this time. And even if you're frustrated, even if you can't see the rewards, the abundance, the harvest for all your hard work, tapping into that energy of faith and trust that you are held by the universe, or Mother Earth, Father Sky, God, trusting that you're held there whilst you're going through a massive integration and letting go of so much. It can feel like you are nauseous as well, where you're just confused and or concerned about how things are going to turn out. And so there is a lot of anxiety happening right now, just so much anxiety, which means that there's a lot of insomnia, which means people aren't at their best. And so it's going to take a moment here to allow people to sense into their heart space and to relax into the changes instead of being rigid into the changes. And I'm in the rigid phase, like, oh, this can't be how it is. No. I mean, I'm still playful about some of this, and I can come on here and be honest and authentic with you, which I'm doing. I'm showing you I have been in some seriously deep energies just in the past couple days. And I'm only me. I'm not perfect. So I'm navigating them how I know to navigate them. And then I'm sharing that with you. But there's a lot of anxiety, worry about the future, worry about how things are going to turn out, or who we are at this point, what we're capable of, how we're going to attain our goals, or step into a newer version of ourselves and a newer truth. And for that one, I just feel like it's just going to happen. Like it's less planning, it's less calculating, it's less doing, it's more surrender, it's more being in the moment and deciding yes or no. Or you might have a plan about a certain person, a job, and then you get into the moment and you're like, no, this isn't really for me. And so you are moving in that energy. Just give me 1 second here. I'm just going to see if I can restrict this so I don't get nasty shit like that coming up. But I think I might whoopsies. Hold on then. Jolly good then. One moment. Oh, maybe not. Oh, where do I go? Well, maybe we can just leave that for now. But it's too bad, because I meant to restrict this. Oh, well, we might get some weirdos on here because I forgot to restrict the chat there. Let's see if I can do that. Nope. Obviously. But hey, maybe you mean you're good with your tongue in other ways, communicating your leadership skills and that. Anyways, so yeah, a lot of anxiety, a lot of pressure in terms of what you're going to do in the future. So it's going to be really interesting. A lot of pressure though, so it can go either way. So be sure to take care of yourself. And if you need to, find an outlet for any sorrow or anger in ways that don't harm other people and or yourself. So I don't know, art would be a great thing to do. Thank you so much for taking those off. And whatever it is, like maybe you want to dance and like just find a way to move your energy, or listen to some crazy music that allows you to get that energy flow out. But then there's also this need to come back into the peaceful nature and to find that calm again. So I don't know if I've name dropped her before, but there's a really wonderful sound healer. She chants, she uses sound bowls. She's really awesome. Her name is Mylan Marutis. And she is so good. Like, you guys will really feel that beautiful energy from her, like, as soon as you're listening. And it's really so fantastic. So if you need, a meditation, guided meditation, or just to listen to some amazing music, go and check her out because she is fantastic. So let's get into these energies and see what we got going on here. Oui, Sissy. And I'm using the Isis cards and the Shapeshifter cards, and then messages from the universe. And then I have a little romance reading, and we'll see what comes up in terms of that romance reading. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so let us go here. Let us go here. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Let's get into the meat and the potatoes. Okay. Let's do this. Oui, see. So our first message is Pillar of Light. Descent of the Star of Isis. Ooh, this one seems really, really neat. I'm not super familiar with this deck, so I'm going to jump in and read it from the booklet. Once I get through the other clarifying cards so that we can see a little bit of a pattern here, which would be wonderful. So, Pillar of Light, Descent of the Star of Isis, clarified by Kitsune. I will show you whom to trust. This is so funny for you guys. This one hasn't come up, but then I haven't used this deck for a little while. So every time I've used this deck in the last 3 times at least, possibly more, this has come up. So there is someone in our midst who isn't being honest with us. They might want to, but they're just not able to communicate the truth. But our intuition and our guides are trying to show us, like, there is someone that we trust that isn't trustworthy. And so Spirit is working on bringing the truth to light, and it will come to light. There's like nothing that can be done to hide this, because the energy of justice is so powerful right now that it's just, the truth is coming out no matter what. And the more this person tries to hide their truth and keep it in, the more it's actually going to cause discomfort and shame and grief and upset in their physical body. And they're going to want to express it as much as you want to know what is truly going on. And this will allow for some closure of a karmic cycle, and will allow you to move forward in a way that really works for both of you. So it's a win-win situation, and you get to move forward with some confidence there. And to clarify this is, let's see, those you love you. This is so pretty. So if you're having an existential crisis right now about a relationship or something you really wanted to happen a certain way, and it's just, you can feel it. You can feel you've done everything you can, and it's just, there's something missing, or something has changed and you're different than you were before. And so you can't go back to the past, and you're cultivating a new way of things, but it's up to other people, and it's up to, the divine sort of fate or destiny in terms of how this works. But just remember that those you love you. Love doesn't just disappear, okay? Attachment might disappear. Love doesn't disappear. So that's always going to be there. They love you, you love them. And that doesn't mean that you have to be together. And it doesn't mean that it has to happen right now. So trust and have faith in yourself and your ability to now discern and move through these challenges with more grace. And it says, to be beautiful in the eyes of another, simply forget they're watching. Tally-ho, the universe. So that's really, really pretty in terms of you don't need, I know we all like positive attention and healthy attention, and some of us are used to the more societal construct of attention, which perhaps is just an ego boost. Whereas when it comes from love, you're just understanding that someone is reflecting back the love you see for yourself. So this message here is saying you don't need someone to show you that you're beautiful or show you that you are lovable, because you are lovable. It's really about you believing that about yourself, and this other people believing that as well. So I love these colors too. They're really soft and pretty. They kind of match my nails actually. All right, you guys. So Pillar of Light, what's going on? And this is the Alana Fairchild Isis Oracle. So, Pillar of Light. Let's see what we got going on. Pillar of Light. All right, here we are. Like I said, you guys might find that you have energy one moment and then the next you're totally tired and just can't even. So, have a lot. Oh, hey, Jay! Yeah! So if you have to drink lots of water or just go take a nap, do it, because things are totally wild right now in terms of the energetic body. Thanks, Jay. I'm so glad you came online. So, beings of light and divinity are calling you now. They wish to connect with you more strongly, and you're being guided to strengthen your energy field to allow more of the divine light that seeks you to flow through your body safely and into expression. Whoa. I think this is part of what's going on with me too. I've been resisting this a little bit because it's different than how I thought it would be. So I thought things would be different, and I thought this opening and being more connected would be more comforting, but it's actually fairly uncomfortable for me because it's so mysterious that it really challenges every facet of my intelligence, my intellect, and my spirit, my intuition. So it's like a full merge of my intuition and my intellect, which is pretty crazy. So you guys might be feeling a little bit of that too. It says, beloved initiate, you are called to allow more divine energy and light to emanate from your body to help build your light body so that the love and healing of the cosmic feminine energies of the Star of Isis can descend through you, offering healing light and assistance to humanity and setting your own heart and soul on fire with divine love and passion. It is suggested that you first build and strengthen your natural pillar of light within your energy body, like building a broadband cable, so that you can receive energy transmissions into your being more easily. Without such preparation, it would be like trying to run high voltage electricity through wires that were not equipped to handle it. Some fire and damage would occur, and the practice would not be safe or sensible. This might be part of why we feel so tired right now as well. We are able to handle it, but depending on what you're eating, depending on how much rest you're getting, how much water you're drinking, your body might be frying up a little bit. So really listen to what your body's asking you to do in terms of how to receive these energies better. And if you feel like your light has gone out, your inner flame has died down, and it's going to be teamwork in kind of stoking that fire again, right? It's going to be a teamwork, you and the universe and your tribe, that helps get you back in motion in terms of feeling like you have passion, you have excitement, you have wonder, and you're able to move forward with that. So it says the pillar of light is the energy tube of pure white light that connects the soul star chakra above your head and the earth star chakra beneath your feet. If you haven't heard of the soul star chakra, I recommend that you go check it out, because if you're watching this and you're in integrity and good intention, and you're not just, here to, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. There is this powerful chakra you might not have heard of, right? So it is the soul star chakra, and the earth star chakra might be one that you want to look into at this time, so that you can know a little bit more and expand your knowledge above the seven chakra system. So go take a look at those two chakras. So the Star of Isis will descend from above your soul star chakra, pouring in grace, light, and healing power until it eventually flows like a river into your Earth star chakra, blessing the earth through your body. And these are really anchoring right now, very anchoring in terms of alignment and aligning your 7 chakras, but also having the soul star and the earth star chakra able to ground and anchor in for you, so you're able to move through these energies a bit better. So it says the Star of Isis, also known as Sirius, rests in a state of bliss, joy, and has a soul presence of heart, great strength, and stunning spiritual light. This is the consciousness seeking to manifest more fully in service through you now, beloved initiate. You are becoming more and more ready to sustain such high vibrations. That is amazing. And so the ability to understand truths and move away from who's not in alignment with your truth, your heart's truth right now, and to understand that there's love, so much love anchoring and supporting you to move away from those people, even if it hurts, that it's worth it. It's so worth it. And so that all the energy, all the effort that you've put into cleaning up your lifestyle, cleaning up your energy field, and connecting into a higher power source in terms of cleaning that energy, knowing that it's not just you who has to cultivate this from nothing. That is a very powerful energy, but you know that it is about teamwork, and it is about utilizing the gifts and the resources that the universe has provided for us. So this is a little incantation for this card. So pillar of light burning bright, earth star below, soul star above, burn away all that is not light. Transform all into unconditional love. Star of Isis descend, your blessing and peace without end. Grace me now with peace and protection, completely embraced by divine perfection. So that is an awesome message for the past position, and trusting ourselves too, and allowing the universe to show us and help peel back. So we've asked for the truth, and Spirit's just saying, okay, you've had a taste, and now we're going to continue with that, because Kitsune is still here, so we're still continuing with the truth. This is so fun. So we have more Sirius energy, Lady of the Stars, coming through in our present. This is the Priestess of Sirius. So we have some major Sirius star energy here for those watching right now, and for those who catch the replay. This is huge. This is big energy. So I will read Lady of the Stars, and we'll see what other clarifying energies come in with Lady of the Stars here. So from the Shapeshifters Tarot, we have strange companions in stranger places, challenges, use your imagination, and resonating to the number 10. And we've got some mushrooms here. So we've got poison mushrooms and poison apples. So challenges, just like Snow White and Alice in Wonderland encountered, we definitely have hit some roadblocks. And this is why, you know, the Kitsune is with us, helping us to see who to trust and who we can't trust, because right now there's some poison in our midst. And, you know, I saw a little salamander this week in my home, and it was so cute. I thought it was a stick. And so I picked it up, and it tried to go away. And I looked at the medicine, and it did talk about, okay, there's still poison or toxicity in your environment. And so this could be food, it could be a person, it could be a belief that you have. So it could be internal or external or both. But Stranger Companions in Stranger Places also talks about recreating a story. So Snow White and Alice in Wonderland, we know their story. Now it's time for us to sort of create a new one for them, but thinking about that for yourself. So you've been all these places, you have all these stories, and now what's the next step? What's the next story that you're going to create? So really checking into how your imagination station is working for you at this time, and seeing, okay, can you see a new path? What might that entail? What might you come across on this new path? Is it travel? You know, is it tattoos? Like, how are you going to change your life in the future here when you're taking new paths and navigating new challenges. So Spirit is saying, yeah, we did send you, a test or a challenge here, and or it's coming up for you, but you have the tools and the solutions to navigate this, and you're such a powerful being, protected by the energy of Sirius, protected by the pillar of light and the lady of the stars. Whoa, a lot of protection as we move through these challenges. So let's see what Lady of the Stars says. Sirius is a celestial goddess, a star of unconditional love and wisdom at an extremely high vibration. So you're meant to operate at an extremely high vibration, meaning that you might have to take care of your body a little bit more than someone else because you have this amazing capacity, this amazing sensitivity and intuition. So in order to bring that through in its highest, you might have to get extra sleep, drink extra water, not drink as much alcohol, not smoke pot or do drugs as much as you would like to. You'll notice maybe it's coffee, but there are certain energies that you now see very clearly. When this person is around, your energy drops. Or when you eat this food, your energy drops. Or when you're out too long in the sun, your energy drops. Or if you're not in the sun enough, your energy drops. So you really have to pay attention to what's going on for you. It brings deep soul awakenings, spiritual gifts, and a high capacity for divine service. Lady of the Stars is also an empowerment of all other oracles in this deck. She tells you how to pay attention because something significant is taking place right now. I can feel it. And I'm in a lot of turmoil, but I'm also in a place of surrender. Like, okay, I really have no fucking clue what my life will look like in a couple months, a couple years. I have no idea because I've already accomplished so many of my goals. And I didn't land where I thought I would. My life looks nothing like I thought it would. And so there is this energy of fear and anticipation. And I believe the Lady of the Stars and this energy of Sirius is allowing us to tap more into the unconditional love instead of the fear so that we can feel empowered instead of feeling disempowered by the unknown. And instead of feeling disempowered by what we don't know, feeling empowered by it because of its infinite potential. So Sirian energy takes the inner path and the spiritual healing journey into a whole new stratosphere. My goodness. This is probably why we've been so tentative to take this leap, because it's not just like you're leaping from one pond to the next, or you're leaping from one dimension into the same dimension. You're going like galactic here. This is why this is so crazy and important and good to know, because you can now understand why it's so important to ground like you've never grounded before, because you're going galactic, baby. And there's a lot of empowering, unconditional love and energy just waiting, just surrounding you and hoping and enticing you to open up your energy to receive it, and being strong enough to do that consciously. So however, we can still receive Sirian light and healing assistance, even if we are still learning to more consistently come from unconditional love. So if you're not fully in that space, like if you're resisting and you're, feeling uncertain about making those changes, like stopping alcohol or addictions or certain things that you know would be good for you, but you're resisting because you're scared of the future. You're scared of what it means to be a channel for that power, for that energy. So it's saying that the light will work with us where we are. It hopes that we can bring in the highest level of that light, because that is an act of service in itself. But if you're still working on it, it's going to meet you where you are. So don't feel like it's going to miss you. So we will feel it more and more strongly as we grow spiritually. But even in our learning phase, we can open our hearts to this divine celestial goddess and allow her, through her priestess, Lady Isis, to bless us with genuine spiritual gifts. So she has offerings of great spiritual support and a message that there is something significant that you need to be aware of in your life right now. So this is crazy. Something big is happening. And I've talked about it in my past readings. This is a little bit different. This is really for the star seeds in my tribe, in the group that watch my readings and come to my readings. This is really about star seeds who have a double mission. You guys aren't just here for you. You are here for a greater act of service to humanity and or above and beyond humanity. That's what I kind of mean galactic. It's that unknown, that the energy of the stars, like the Syrian energy of the stars. You might have heard of like Arcturian, Pleiadian, Sirius, Orion. Like, so you just connect in with your intuition, your guidance, and you can research these star systems and the energy that I'm talking about. You will resonate with this. And you go, oh, right. Like, I know that there's something greater, and I know that there's this huge shift happening inside of me. And a lot of it does have to do with soul bonds and what you're capable of for moving into this next stage of your journey. You're capable of so much more than you ever thought you were. And so this is losing the blocks to your own success in terms of how you hold yourself back. It's not about anybody else holding you back. It's how you hold yourself back to this power, this level of awakening. And so we have a few cards now that are saying there's something very big, very potent happening. Yeah, Buzz Lightyear, woo! In your life right now. So please open your heart to the assistance. And it says it is total trust and surrender with absolute faith that even unexpected twists and turns will be leading you in the best direction. And that is what I was talking about, that feeling of, whoa, this being way too much. Like, I totally thought this was going to happen, or I even received intuition or messages that this was going to happen, and then it goes and it twists, and you're like, whoa. One of the women, Hair in the Moon astrology, she calls them sideways elevators, where you're like going, woo, and then it's like a big offshoot going the other direction. So we have to be flexible right now too, because if we're too rigid, you're just going to have like a mental block or a moment where you just put the brakes on and you're like, no, I will not go forward. No, I am not going out of my comfort zone. And I get that. I really do. I'm there with you half the time, I'd say. But I do recognize the need to get over this hurdle, the need to get over our blocks and our doubts about ourselves and what we can accomplish in our lifetime that has nothing to do with what we're supposed to accomplish society-wise, but only what we know we can accomplish in our heart. So what are we capable of? What are we capable of? Taking down the walls of our own fears and our own blocks and that which we accepted that are no longer a part of our truth. So let's see what the clarifying is for Lady of the Stars and strange companions and stranger places. Honor thyself. This is a really beautiful one here. Honor thyself. Be proud of yourself, okay? Even if you have failed, even if you have made mistakes, even if you're totally not where you thought you would be, like me, like I'm totally not where I thought I would be. All right, like here's where I thought I would be, somewhere over here. And this is where I am, somewhere off in galactic universe hyperspace. So it says, just curious, when was the last time you looked into a mirror and addressed yourself as gorgeous, magnificent, or sublime? It matters. Here's looking at you, gorgeous, the universe. P.S. Okay, haba counts. So, yes. Failure, loser, fatty, all of these wonderful description words, they're just not going to really work with this energy of the Lady of the Stars and the pillar of light, right? Like we have to own our majesty at this point. We have to own our infinite beauty as much as possible, right? We have to look at our, each other as this, like really seeing that magic will help us reflect that within, I believe, because it's been very challenging. There's been a lot of heartbreak, rejection, sorrow, grief. There's been a lot of success, personal achievement, but especially with COVID-19, this disconnection and going within, the hermit energy and the hanged man energy, and really being introspective. When we do that and we're moving through our shadows and we're going through the underbelly and we're looking at our subconscious, though these don't really come up that often. You're usually not going into the underworld and going, I feel so gorgeous about all my trauma, and I feel sublime about all the mistakes I made, right? So once we come out of that dark pit that we need to catalyze our light and that energy, and to harmonize both of them, darkness and light together, we have to also be sure that our self-talk reflects that balance. So the self-talk needs to have this to balance any negative talk that we might have, because that's natural too. But if it's too much, then it's unbalanced and we're kind of wading in those energies. So it's much better to wake up and say, hey, gorgeous, hey, magnificent, or you look beautiful today, or those earrings make you look so sexy, or whatever it is for you. I don't know. Talk to yourself in a way that you would want like a lover to talk to you, or I don't know, that just kind of lights you up and gets you excited about life again. Because we kind of have to like pump ourselves up at this point after so many trials and tribulations, and maybe after eating a few poisoned mushrooms or poisoned apples along the way. Letting that energy of light move that poison out of our system and allowing us to get that tainted taste of pain and suffering from our history, from our story, from our past. Allow that to move out so that this new cycle isn't burdened by that energy. So this can help us move through that as well. So honor thyself, really honor yourself at this point. No matter where you've been, no matter, where you thought you would be. So let's see what we've got going on for the future position. Ho, Daka. That one looks very intriguing. All right. Enter the chamber of healing in the divine chamber of the Lady Isis. So this looks pretty fly. I have to admit, when I'm using this deck and the Sacred Rebels deck, sometimes I choose the same cards over and over again. And I get frustrated with that because I'm like, okay, well, this means that I'm not getting this message, or I haven't quite overcome something. And so I get the same bloody cards all the time, which is fine. But, this is just part of that honor thyself medicine, that it's really up to us if we're going to berate ourselves or not, or laugh at ourselves and be a little bit more playful. So let's dive in to see what this energy entails, because usually I pull the Temple of Black Obsidian, which is another healing card, but I don't think I've ever pulled the Enter the Chamber of Healing card. So this is really neat. So we're going to dive into that right now. Dun, dun, dun. Enter the Chamber of Healing. Okay, so a spiritual gift of healing. Whoa, okay, this is what, like the third time we've got this? Okay. A spiritual gift of healing is coming to you now. Be open without expectation or preconceived notions, and allow the healing from the Lady Isis, Mistress of Magic, to help you find the best solution for any situation that does not appear to be as it should be. Whoa, my head is just... Because I was getting really frustrated about a situation where I felt a lot of inner knowledge, inner wisdom, but my 3D reality wasn't reflecting it like at all. And I was like, what? I can't do anything else here. Like, I am letting this go completely. This is total hogwash. So when Spirit says, let go of expectation or preconceived notions, it means it. Like, it means business. So it is not going to happen how you thought it would. There are way more paths than we can anticipate or see in terms of time, in terms of people, in terms of knowledge, insights, awakenings, epiphanies. So if there's something you're really upset about or frustrated about, it's time to release that and give it over to the chamber of healing. All right? Give it over. Give it over. Let it go. Let it go. Let your grip go. Okay? Lighten it up. So it says, take your time and create space into which her magic and energy can flow. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to solve it. You don't have to rescue someone. All you have to do is get into the energy of receptivity. And I say that all you have to do is do that, but depending on how sticky your energy is and how much resistance you have, that might not be too easy. But they're saying, as you move into the energy of surrender, you are moving into the energy of receiving your miracle, expecting your miracle. And you have probably received this message, if you're watching this or you're catching the replay, that there's a blessing coming or that there's a miracle coming. And there's so much challenge right now that the universe is coming again and saying, no, it is coming. No, it is here. Like, don't stop believing. Yeah, now you can listen to that in your head for the rest of the day. But don't stop believing just because the timing hasn't been right yet. Expect your miracle. No, it is. All right? So the oracle comes to you as a messenger. Prepare for great changes because they are on their way now. So if you're like me and you're nowhere where you thought you would be, I'm in this little place. I'm not in love with it. It doesn't make my soul sing. So I am completely aware that something can happen in my life where I'm here 1 minute and I'm gone the next, on to some totally crazy adventure, right? Or things will just fall into place and boom, boom, boom. My life has totally changed. My perspective has totally changed. So be aware that can happen right now. Like, the energy is so big. Excusez-moi, I gotta get a drink of orange juice. But the energy is so powerful that there could be just massive timeline shifts here. And yeah, I was going to say something, but I'm going to leave it. When the Divine Lady Isis offers you a healing gift of magic, it is something to accept as a gift of unconditional love with open arms. It will be offered without agenda. So this is part of why Kitsune is helping us to feel who to trust. Because this gift, once you've eaten some poisoned apples, or things didn't turn out the way you thought they would, and you put in your best effort, or you were in the energy of unconditional love, you might be hesitant to take a cup that's offered from the universe. So it hands you the cup, this blessing, this miracle, and you might be tentative about receiving it because you are fearful now, whereas you used to be fearless. In a way, something happened in your life that really sent you reeling or took you by surprise or made you question everything, which was really a catalyst for you to move to this next level. But now Spirit and Lady Isis are saying, okay, but here's the thing. This is, from God. This is from Spirit, and it is a blessing for you. So please, please, please receive it. It's meant for you. So it will be offered without agenda, with the only intent being for your highest good and spiritual growth. It will not necessarily look or feel like you expected, but you will realize in the unfoldment of the process or circumstance that it was a spiritual healing gift from the divine, even though you may not have immediately recognized it as such at the time. You will be able to recognize the healing by the experience of it and its effect. I just feel this feeling of peace in your heart. You've been asking for peace. You've been asking for closure. You've been asking for the truth so you can move forward. So you will feel it. You will feel it in your heart and your spirit and your soul. So even before the complete resolution of the issue at hand, you will feel it. The experience will be that the issue is somehow lifted from you, and the effect will be that the issue seems genuinely out of your control and yet not out of control. Interesting. This is the way that the gift of healing can come to you. So being able to let it go, being 100% accepting of letting it go, instead of having that resistance and fear. Time in sacred space to complete and reflect is extremely helpful to receive divine intervention as consciously, swiftly, and fully as possible. Sacred space can be a physical place that allows you to put your day-to-day activities and thoughts to one side and instead indulge in just being as you are in that moment. So really finding sanctuary where you can accept this healing energy from the divine and allow yourself to become a channel and receive that healing energy. And the more you're able to just be in that energy, this issue that's bugging you, that's plaguing you, or has been weighing on your heart, this issue has resolution already. There's solutions already. And just remember, in this card here, it talks about the solutions. Okay? So Spirit knows we have a challenge. It's to do with our heart and our spirit and our soul. And they're saying, you know there's a solution here, but it's not yours to fix. It's not yours to control or dominate or manipulate. You have to allow this to unfold. And it will unfold for your highest and best. Okay? So let's see what our little incantation is with this, and we'll go on to the next cards here. Healing comes, healing flows, healing blossoms, and it shows. I thank Lady Isis for her love and light. Her healing gift through spiritual night brings me now to the light of this day, and healing blossoms without delay. So today, if you can, because it is a new moon, and new moons are about manifesting, even if, I think it's kind of giving us a little bit of a hint here too, that you don't have to manifest with your ego tonight, with, how you might usually call things in. Maybe it's a good sign of faith or a gesture of faith to simply clean your slate in terms of your energy field and, give yourself permission to receive the highest and best that the divine has for you right now. Instead of saying, I want this, I want that, or this is what I'm manifesting, go really into that beautiful feminine receptivity and just open yourself to receive. Just open yourself to receive the blessings, miracles, and energies of healing and light that the divine has for you. So that is what I'm feeling. So if you resonate with that, then really, I feel like that's a beautiful ceremony or ritual to do for the new moon tonight, is really just to open yourself to receiving, give yourself permission to receive that gift that's coming in for you. So to clarify, we have Fiona and the unicorn, the gift of sacred sight. Whoa! Resonating to the number 11. All right, so we've got a master number and talking all this reading about a gift that's coming in for you. And then we get Fiona and the sacred unicorn, which says the gift of sacred sight. Okay. So the gift coming through, honestly, might simply be that you can fully see something with your third eye, with your heart, with your intuition. You might see it from a totally different perspective. You might see it from that higher vision. And that might be the gift that you are asking for. So you can see it. And with that seeing, you'll feel it all in your body. You won't feel agony. You won't feel suffering or pain. You'll feel the release. You'll feel a detachment. And you really will feel that love flowing through freely and clearly, whereas you might have had stagnant spots or energy blocks before. So wow, that is a really beautiful energy, but it does also talk about allowing yourself to go to the next level. And I did talk about this in a previous reading. So if you're watching this again and this resonates for you, you might say be a tarot reader. And then all of a sudden you start understanding that you have mediumship capabilities and moving into that, or healing capabilities, or being a writer. But your gifts, the way you present them to the universe, the way you present them to people as an act of service might shift and change here. So be open to changing the way you give your gifts to the world. And that is the energy of Fiona and the unicorn. You have more gifts coming to light or being revealed. And this might be part of how you're honoring yourself, right? Being like, wow, I am miraculous. I am a walking miracle. I am so sexy. Like, I'm so sexy, it can blow people's minds how sexy I am. Like, if they knew me fully, their minds would explode with how sexy I am. Like, just, go. And that sexiness, that comes from all of you in your entirety. Not just how you look, not just if you kiss good or whatever. Okay, I'm going down the rabbit hole here, but I'm just saying it's about all of you, how exquisite you are in your entirety, not just your physical looks, right? So, this is getting good. Let's see what our clarifying card is. Things are not as they appear. Things are not as they appear. Okay? And we all know this, right? Like, there's some crazy shit going on. Just crazy. Totally. Like I was saying this song, I feel like Sandra Bullock in Gravity, just like, woo, floating around, just observing things and being like, whoa. So things are not as they appear. And that is part of what the Lady of the Stars said as well. She was talking in the booklet. It was talking about, you've done everything you can. Like, you can't do anything more about a situation. But you know that Spirit's going to change it. Like, there is a change. You can feel it. You know it in your insight, in your intuition. But it's not your responsibility or duty to push it forward. You can't. You cannot. It is no bueno. You can't do it. It is impossible. You can't do it. So going into surrender, and hi Jake, how you doing? Going into surrender is the best possible thing you can do at this point. Even though it leaves you vulnerable to change, it also leaves you vulnerable and open to those blessings and those miracles coming in. So things are not as they appear. It says, the lower the price of your love, the higher its value. Brain freeze, sincerely, the universe. So this comes back to those who love hard, and your depth of emotion, your depth of love is so deep. And for those of you who have been looking at that as a curse or something that sets you back, it is a fucking hindrance sometimes. And you might think, well, I gave so much love in this situation, and then I got hit over the head by a 2x4, and that didn't really feel that great. So I don't really feel super positive about putting my love out there again. And I think I'm just going to clam up and toss myself in the ocean and make a pearl, right? Like, the energies are saying, no, you are the pearl. You don't need to close up. We know it hurt. We know it was a difficult, challenging lesson. And you still have the strength and the empowerment and the ability to accept this light to help you move through this, to accept the help, to help broaden your scope of why this happened or where it's leading you. Because that's one of the most important parts, is how did those lessons shape you, change you, help you transform, and why? What does this next version of yourself do that needed that change and transformation, that needed to know the power of your love, that needed to know that you are so worthy, so miraculous, so beautiful, that nothing anybody does can actually stand in the way of your self-worth and your value of you, right? So things are not as they appear. You giving your love to others freely, it's not cheap. It's not a cheap thing to do. It's not something that should be seen as a weakness, okay? It's something that should be seen as a very beautiful strength of unconditional love and non-attachment. So really look at yourself differently if you're in that energy and thank yourself for giving that love, because you might have saved someone's life, even if they can't tell you, even if they can't thank you, even if they can't apologize for being an asshole. You might have changed their life by being you and giving your love freely. And the universe is going to balance the scales of justice. Okay, that person might not, or that situation or that colleague might not, but the universe will. Okay, so trust the universe to bring you justice and balance. You don't need revenge. You don't need to meddle. Let it go. Let spirit bring to you what is meant to come to you. Okay, what you are seeking is seeking you. And that is at the base of your heart, the root of your heart. This isn't ego. This isn't surface. So some of it might not be conscious to you, what you're calling and what you truly, truly desire. You're still working through those layers. But remember, the Lady of the Stars said that even as you're working through your unconditional love, even if you're, not quite there yet, they're still helping you. So be open to receiving those blessings. All right. This is a very strong reading. I can feel myself kind of like lifting off. So I have to put my feet on the ground and ground in a little bit. So I just also want to say thank you very much for tuning in. I really love to see you guys when I come on my lives. It means a lot. I feel supported and connected. So thanks for commenting and or liking my video. If you guys have enjoyed the video and you do enjoy when I come on here with these offerings, if you could please give me a thumbs up, that'd be great. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe if that's something that calls to you. You can also find me on Facebook at Kindred Heart Tarot. And there's pricing for my private sessions, and I have openings right now. So if you like a private card reading, you can book online through Acuity Scheduling there. And I also have a PayPal link on my Facebook page, and I do put it in the YouTube information afterwards if you'd like to donate. And I have had a lot of beautiful, wonderful donations. Thank you so much for doing that, because it's a really beautiful energy of give and receive. So I really do appreciate that when you feel called to do so, but it is not required. So you don't have to do that, but I'm very grateful for those of you who have donated. That's very much appreciated. So I do have a little bit of a romance reading. So if you guys aren't interested in that, you can sign off now. And I hope you have a really good week. As we can see, there's some maybe little challenges we're going through, but there's so much support, so much light, and really blessings and miracles just waiting on our doorstep for us to open the door and give ourselves permission to receive that. So if you're leaving me at this point, then have an amazing day, and thank you so much for tuning in to these more potent energies, because I went with the potent decks. So that's what happens. All right. But if you're going to stay on for the romance reading, what I did was I pulled from my Kindred Spirit Love Oracle deck. So you can find information about purchasing that online. If you want to message me directly through Facebook, you can do that. Or I put the link on my other videos, and I'll put the link on this video after it's done. So let's see what we have in the past position. And this is really about our soul journey, but also about, what we need to know about this energy at this time for our romantic energies. So in the past position, we have authentic self. Okay. So bravo, you or another party has given yourself permission to fully be in your power. You have released judgment on yourself and the need for approval or permission to be who you are. You have achieved a level of clarity and freedom on who you are. You are revealing your true authentic self. So we've been taking off the masks. We've been letting go of people pleasing. We've been putting ourselves first, understanding codependency or other issues that came up from trauma, from childhood, or relationships with our parents, really coming into our own, who we are. So that's a really beautiful first energy that we have accomplished, that we should really be proud of ourselves. And this one is the Ace of Cups. So so really coming into a new emotional energy within ourselves. So seeing ourselves differently, in terms of our emotional landscape and being ready for something new. So being ready for something new in our lives in terms of who we are. So a new version of ourselves has been birthing. So a really, really awesome energy in terms of our emotional landscape. And so what we have for the present, what's going on in our soul right now in terms of energies, we have victim or perpetrator. Both parties are healing victim consciousness within themselves. Wounds from childhood have been triggered, and each person must search for empowerment to break the cycle. So in this energy, that we had from the strange companions in stranger places, the poison apple, the poison mushrooms, it says challenges, use your imagination. So we were also advised that those challenges, we might need to walk towards those in receptivity instead of trying to fix or change or force that to go a certain way. Within ourselves, we're being asked, are we going to look at ourselves as fallen and wounded, or are we going to look at ourselves with the challenges that we've overcome, with the mistakes we've made, with the lessons we've learned? Are we going to look at ourselves more coming from a blank slate and looking at the future from a blank slate without the burdens of the past? Or are we going to choose to keep the burdens of the past on our shoulders, the heartbreak from relationships that didn't work or from situations that didn't go our way? Are we going to sit in that sorrow and leap from that sorrow? Or are we going to stand and leap from a solid foundation of acceptance of where we are and where we've been and how we've come through those challenges of the past? So this one does suggest, just the same as this one in the present position, that there are triggers happening right now. So this will trigger you. And I think what this is doing is showing you the old way you would respond and how you're responding now, so that you can actually see in real time the growth that you've made. So this is an energy of empowerment, especially when you're breaking cycles. So if you're breaking cycles with someone, then there's a little bit of need for patience here and understanding, because you might be taking on the victim role, and then that makes them a perpetrator. Or you might be in a perpetrator role trying to force or move something, and then they're feeling like they're in a victim role. And I have to use these with care as well, because there truly are situations where you are a victim and there was a perpetrator. Now, it's hard in the English language to navigate all of the ins and outs of the meanings and potency behind these words. For this energy, I usually try to clarify in my readings that this is more of a conceptual energy of, if you're in victim mentality, it's kind of like you're in that learned helplessness mode where things didn't go your way and you tried your best and it didn't work out. So you feel like just not moving at all, just not trying at all, or being protective and going inwards instead of stepping back out. And of course, that makes total sense. So that's kind of the energy of a victim. And I'm not saying that's good or bad. And there are energies in psychology of the victim or perpetrator in terms of cycles of victimization that we put ourselves through, and that are simply responses to trauma from childhood. So if this triggers you, this word, victim or perpetrator, I would just ask you to understand that I can't encompass everything that this means in a tarot reading that lasts an hour or an hour and a half, okay? So you're really going to have to use your own discernment in terms of what I'm referencing when I talk about victim mentality or victim and perpetrator energy. But the victim consciousness usually comes from within, and we're healing wounds, childhood wounds, right? And so that's such a big part of our whole life, is healing wounds. And so just understand that each person must search for empowerment not just you, okay? So each person, it's a team effort. So you can only do as much as you can, and then you need to let it go. And we've got the moon. Yes. So more mushrooms in this picture, which is hilarious. And also, in terms of things are not as they appear, the moon is all about things not being as they appear. So there is something moving in the underworld or the night aspect that is unseen, that is not illuminated. So something is coming to light, right? Something is coming to light in terms of this victim perpetrator consciousness and healing this cycle. So you guys might just be like right there, just on the precipice of breaking through this cycle for you with a colleague, with a roommate, with a family member, with a lover, in romantic partnership. I feel like there's a breakthrough that has just caused a lot of exhaustion between both people. But it's a huge revelation for your spirit. It's a huge accomplishment for your life goal. So just know that there is empowerment happening here. It's just a little bit less visible than you would like. So it might not be fully in the 3D yet. You can't see it, that apology hasn't come through yet in words, but you can feel something changing. You can feel something's different. Okay? And in the future position, oh no, Joseph, no. We have shame. So this is really good because it kind of pairs with the Enter the Chamber of Healing card with our general reading. So it says unhealed shame can cause us to undermine healthy relationships and self-sabotage. One or both parties have deep underlying shame that is distorting someone's perspective. Shame is toxic to a partnership if left untended. So that is part of what is creating this victim energy. And so you can't heal someone else's shame. You can only look inside and ask, okay, where do I hold or store shame from trauma or childhood? And it is true. So say you stayed I'll give an example. Say you stayed in an abusive relationship and you've come to accept responsibility in your own role of being in that situation or how it occurred, and you are carrying shame and you're thinking about dating, you're thinking about getting back into that, but you're still carrying heartbreak, or you're still carrying that guilt about some element of decision making, or why were you in that, or how did you have such low self-worth to stay, or something like that. That is shame, right? So if you take that forward and someone really wonderful and amazing comes in, but you're really distrusting and you're not fully back into your power, you haven't reconciled with the past, you haven't said what you needed to say, or just that energy of something lingering, you don't feel closure, then there might be a high chance of you sabotaging a healthy relationship that comes in just purely because of holding on to the past hurt, the past shame, the past guilt. Okay, now I've had this happen with me with partners in the past, but you always also have to look at how you're doing it. So ask yourself, is there any shame you're carrying at this point that you can let go of and release so that you can have a better relationship? Because that shame is going to cause distortion in an existing relationship or a new one. And so it's really beautiful to let go of as much shame as you can as possible, because really it's a block, it's a hindrance, and it's all created from fear, it's all created from trauma. And so it's in those areas where this light, the pillar of light, this light has not been able to reach, right? Where we haven't been willing to open up that wound. We haven't been willing to allow that wound to be healed. So even though we've stepped into our authentic selves more and more, and we've released that, we're still looking at ourselves with that lens of judgment or criticism. And so this week is going to really be about also seeing ourselves differently. So in addition to seeing a situation differently and allowing the universe to bring closure, to bring truth to a situation and clarity and new gifts and new intuitive abilities, we're really going to be able to release some of that shame and that guilt that has been holding us back or sabotaging healthy relationships. And so this is really, really important. And we'll see what our clarifying card is for this. Page of Swords. So we do have a message coming in. We do have information coming. I'm going to read this one out particularly, but it's time to tend to the wounds of shame. And the Page of Swords, I believe, it's usually a kind of truth delivered without tact. So it's a little bit wobbly. So let's see what she says. She embodies honesty and truthfulness. She's unafraid to scrutinize her beliefs. Logic is what dominates her the most. Her mind is agile and analytical. Let's see. Okay, the Knight of Swords is the one who's blunt. So we're right before that. So it might have a little bit of a softer landing than the Knight, but this is still truth coming in. And this truth is going to be about this energy of shame. You might actually have someone talk to you about this and say, I was triggered, or this is why I had this response, because I'm ashamed of something I did. And this is what it was. And they might tell you a truth about what's creating this shame, because shame will eat you up inside like this poison apple, like, worm in an apple. So if you can be as grounded and stable as possible as you release your shame or speak your truths, and it was just 11111 on the timestamp, then you'll also understand that you'll have the strength to receive these truths from others. Okay? So there is information coming through that's been hidden. It's coming to light, and it is going to be the truth, and you're going to know it as the truth. And then it's up to you how to respond to that and not react to it, because it is all about healing, okay? And this could also be part of the gift that is being brought in, because you've been asking for that. You've been asking for clarity. So how that pertains to you and what you've been struggling with or questioning in your own life. And so those are the energies. So very much traversing leftover fragments that are blocking us. Okay, so this week isn't really about like a full moving forward. It doesn't seem like that anyway. It's kind of a balance between, okay, finding the slivers and fragments that we need to pull in order to move forward with this beautiful light and support energy, but also opening ourselves up to what's coming next. So looking more at the future, but being present with ourselves and not looking so much at the past, but releasing the burdens of the past. So it's a balancing act. And let's hope that we receive that support and that assistance from the divine, so that we can move through these energies with less suffering. So I hope you guys enjoy this reading. We're at an hour and 12 minutes or 13 minutes here. So I'm not going to pull personal readings. My throat's feeling a little bit sore. But I really hope this resonated with you, and I hope you enjoyed the romance reading at the end. So thanks, everyone. Thanks for the thumbs up, whoever gave me the thumbs up there. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. And take care of yourself and honor thyself. That's our parting message. Honor thyself, you amazing, beautiful, glorious souls. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you next time. Bye. Ciao.